Broxim will not be available tonight. I did get some messages from him on how he would respond to certain things, so we can at least get past encounter. It's not really an encounter. I don't.
Conversation,
Yeah,
really.
this conversation. Do you want to do another recap?
Let me pull it up.
Also, in the top left corner of the map, you'll see that I put up a mini map of the entire Terralina area.
Yeah, saw that.
Yeah, that green is the gray area. That's the slums. All of that, which seems like a city within itself. There's shops, there's markets, there's housing, there's places to eat and such, but don't expect anything too fancy there.
Okay.
And pretty much like you have to pass through there to go from one district to the next. And as I've stated before, like each of the districts are the size of a large city. So
yeah,
if you're talking about walking from like one district to the next, like from platinum to emerald or platinum to diamond, it's it's gonna take you like some time. The passage of day, I'll let you know why like later once we get past this initial conversation and you get to go out into the city and learn more about the city itself. I'll explain why uh, how long things take, like days and stuff like that, are important.
Okay.
Because believe it or not, keeping up with your time and this is important.
Yeah, I've played games where the passage of time matters. So I have like a single sentence for last session.
And I
Yeah.
swear, at some point, I'm going to start uploading stuff. We left off, uh, I believe it was Vinny, did an arcane lock on the doors, and Mickey did, no, not Mickey, Mikey did a zone of truth,
Zone of truth.
which you decided to actively resist. And
Mm-hmm.
you are not currently under the zone of truth, but he can tell.
Yep.
I know, like, the mechanics of, I just want to put this out there, I know the mechanics of Zone of Truth, but imagine someone who dedicated any arcane ability they had specifically to fine tuning Zone of Truth.
Oh, okay.
So that's
And then
pretty
it's resisted.
yeah, and he knows it. So he knows that he can't pinpoint who it is, but he knows someone has resisted.
Ah.
So when Broxim answered, and he's telling the truth, he's getting that ping. So we are going to pick up from there. Mancioni just asked you the question.
Where's Mickey?
Broxim answered. He said that he might be dead, and it was determined that he was telling the truth. And then Mancioni said, "You're going to tell me everything."
Yep.
That's where we're picking up. He just said, "So now you're going to tell me everything."
I don't know. What else am I supposed to say?
Well, yeah. And mind you, you're under zone of truth because you didn't elect to resist it. So anything you say can't be a lie.
Wait, what did he ask again?
He just asked you to tell him everything. He just said, "Tell me everything."
I mean, what you want to know about? You gotta be specific. So I was born in like this year, and I weigh this much, and my hair is this color.
Mickey. Tell me about Mickey.
I don't know anything about a Mickey.
I don't think she knows that name, boss.
Zaida will just sort of shrug her shoulders and say, I've never heard of the guy before today.
So Mikey looks at you and says, "Huh, so you're the one. I'm getting nothing from you."
And yet I am speaking the full truth.
Mancioni says,
Must be the horns.
Mancioni says, "Okay, you're gonna stop jerking me around. You killed my family. Did you not?"
definitely didn't do that. But you're not going to with me.
Isn't that a very extreme accusation?
It's at that point that Munchione snaps his fingers, and Vinny, who was previously next to the door, walks around to stand in front of you. He reaches into his clothing and pulls out what looks like a strange wand. It's like a twisted piece of wood, and to us it kind of looks like a revolver, but it's
Oh
like
boy.
it's a twisted piece of wood that's wrapped around a glass sphere, and inside of that glass sphere is a bit of glowing light. And he just kind of holds it down at his waist, waiting for an order.
So Mickey, your godson, had these tickets, right?
That is correct.
Well, we found these tickets. We don't know where they came from, but we found them, and they weren't on a dead body or anything. They were just in a desk when we were okay. So we were going through this person's house and stealing shit, but we didn't steal them. We didn't kill anybody for them. They were in a desk.
And how am I supposed to believe you?
I don't know. I'm told I have a very trustworthy face.
Are these the tickets to Terralina that they're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's not how we got them.
She's telling the truth, boss.
So that's correct. I was telling a lie then. And now you know what it's like when I'm lying. So when I tell you the truth, you'll know it's the truth. So we did find them on a dead body, but we didn't kill the guy.
Munchione
He was already dead.
looks at you and closes his eyes, looks down, and he's just rubbing his right temple. He's just like, I don't want to hear anything else from you. You already lied to me. You're not under the zone of truth.
Okay, off the
How
books,
about
though?
you? I need you to speak. And
Okay,
he points to
off the
Broxim.
books.
Like above Gameway.
Yeah. I thought we were given those tickets by that guy. He was like, "Hey, do you want to do this quest or whatever for the tickets?"
He was trying
I
to.
thought he gave
Okay.
it to us.
No. See, he was trying to buy a ticket for himself. So he was trying to take on a mission to get enough gold to buy a ticket. The thing is, you guys had run into the jerks who were flaunting the fact that they had, tickets to Terralina. They,
They ended up dying in there. Okay, I got it.
And it was actually Elf, your rogue, who had taken it off the bodies.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But he's no longer with you. So
we can go.
Yes, I will say that you do have all that information because you were there.
Zaida wasn't there at all, so she's just bullshitting because she's a bullshitter.
Yes.
I was like, what is the truth?
And Broxim is uncharacteristically quiet. He's not even writing in his book. In fact, it feels like he's trying to hide it as much as possible. At this point, Munchione, like I said, is a bit cross with you, Zaida. So he's wanting to hear from the other two.
Right.
So what does Broxim say?
And Broxim says, it wasn't our intention to kill anyone. He goes, there were some demons, and then these other guys showed up, and then there's this crazy stuff that happened, and they were super powerful, and like I almost died, and he's just like rambling on about the events of that night, and it says like, and the tickets were like when we checked the bodies, the tickets were in there, so we just kept them.
He's telling the truth. We basically just found them, and that's technically what Zaida was saying, although with a twist. We did just find them. So we don't know what happened to your Mikey.
And Mikey, who's maintaining his concentration on the Zone of Truth, says, "It's all true, boss. I don't think they know anything else." Manchione, now in like full double temple rubbing mode, is just trying to keep his levels of stress down, and he's just like, okay, okay, where's his body? How long has he been away from this plane?
How long was it? That was our first day.
Yeah, so it's your first day, and I say it was almost 5 days, I believe, because it was 2 days to travel to the next town over. You stayed the night through the storm. So yeah, it's been about 5 days.
Okay, so I'll tell him, sir, I think it's been like less than a week, maybe 4 or 5 days.
Did you bury him? Where's his body?
No, we had to escape because we were in grave danger. If we didn't leave at that exact moment, we would all be dead right now.
Great.
It should still be exactly where we left him, though there were some weird changes to his body.
It's like you may or may not remember what actually happened to the body, so I'm not going to penalize that. As far as you know, yeah, his body's still there. So Manchione is like, you see he's like doing math, trying to figure out if like he could still revive him, if he can get someone there soon enough. He's like, okay, you still are indebted to me.
Huh? Why?
Because you took what wasn't yours, and from the sound of it, even if you didn't directly kill my godson, you had a hand in it.
How would we have he was dead before we got there. What?
That's not the truth, boss, says Mikey.
Wasn't he?
And
Wow.
Broxim chimes in. It's like, don't you remember he transformed into that that creature thing?
Oh, yes, but he wasn't your brother after he transforms.
Manchione is like, it's fine. I'll deal with this. Again, the tickets, the pain and suffering, the breaking of certain ties. You have two options here. You can either pay me for the tickets, for the resurrection of my godson, and any expenses that it will take for me to get someone there. I want it in 3 days. Or you can continue to work for me, pay off this debt, and have a contract for a while. Exclusive.
Okay, let me convene with Zaida.
Broxim will chime in and say, it's like, well, we're not given much of a choice. It's pay him in 3 days and die, or find some other way to get out of this.
We don't got money like that.
It's like 3,500 gold, least.
Oh my god.
He says,
The tickets are 1,000, the resurrection's 500, and then there's expenses, travel expenses.
Gosh, I feel like I'm talking to my landlord.
he goes,
Yeah.
he says, what about my pain and suffering and my mental anguish? What's that cost? Can you really put a price on that?
What about our pain and suffering? I mean, really?
I think
who should compensate us for the mental anguish we had to go through because your brother decided to transform into some weird creature?
You keep saying brother, but his godson.
Godson, sorry.
Yeah. But Manchione puts a hand in the air and starts counting. He's like, and you have this and carry that. I think 20,000 gold will make us even.
Shit. Holy shit.
There should be laws against this.
This guy is the law.
Do you say that out loud? Like,
Maybe not.
because if you say this guy is the law, like if you say it audibly, do you say it out loud at all? Like, I just want to
it's
know.
in my mind.
This guy is
under her breath, sort of. Yeah.
I have to roll something real quick. Would you say that you're actively trying to be deceptive?
Yeah.
Me?
Yes, with your whispering.
More like persuasive, but it's like, because I just don't think it's fair at all. Because it's just like,
Well,
am I responsible when
I'm saying with Zaida whispering.
He attacked us first.
Because there's something I'm trying to figure
I'm
out.
Deceptive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you roll for it?
Happily.
And I gotta remember how to.
Yeah, not very good.
Okay, so
11.
If you were looking in Munchione's direction, then you would have seen his ears perk up, and he just continues to chuckle.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just kind of like, I am the law.
Let's see here. Reaches into her pouch and starts dropping coins one by one in front of the guy until she gets to all 13 gold she's got.
Where are you placing said gold? In the room itself.
Literally just holding them. She's like doing them like one at a time, like a mic drop, just arm outstretched, just on the floor, letting them bounce away.
The fuck is that? He says.
That's my total net worth, my friend. If you want gold, you're looking in the wrong direction. If you want a job done, we can talk.
Well, if that's all you got, I doubt you're going to be able to pay off 20,000 gold in 3 days. So we're going to have a very long and productive working relationship.
Can't wait.
Capitalism for you.
So he opens a drawer in his desk and puts a stone on the edge of it. And he says, keep that on you. If I need to talk to you, that's how I'll do it. And I'm sure that both your characters would be familiar with a sending stone.
Yes.
And that is what that is. He says, as soon as I got a job for you, you follow the instructions to the letter. You be where I tell you to be. You get what I tell you to get. You take it where I tell you to take it. You deviate from any mission I give you, there will be consequences. And who knows? If you do a good enough job, I might let you keep some coin. I'm an understanding guy. And Broxim says something akin to, oh, fine, you're just going to throw us the crumbs. Which to Munchione replies, be lucky that you're walking out of here alive. And the zone of truth has since been dropped. Yeah, there's no point. He's gotten what information he wanted.
Zaida starts to pick up her coins off the floor. It looks really awkward and kind of sad.
So you sadly pick up your coins from the floor.
Yeah, it's sort of a pathetic moment after her moment of disdain. So we're free to go?
Girl, let's get out of here.
He says, yeah, if I need to find you, I'll find you.
Nice meeting you, sir.
I wish I could say the same. I've got affairs to take care of. Vinny, let him out. And you see Vincent undo the arcane lock. And the three of you are free to go.
Time to get the fuck out. Oh boy. We're so screwed.
This is bullshit.
As you're walking back down the hallway, you hear a familiar voice. It's singing. It's the unmistakable voice of Edward T. McGraw.
Oh, good.
And he's walking his way to towards the governor's office. It's like I keep wanting to, sing as Edward, but I'm just like so nervous. One day. So anyway,
one day we'll get you to sing for us.
So he's walking down this hallway, and you hear him singing, his voice echoing throughout the hall. And at one point, he just goes, "Take it away, Cookie." And then you just hear this. Cookie is both playing spoons and ham boning. To Edward's delight, he's just like, "Ha ha ha, Cookie. That's how you do it."
Oh boy. Do you want to go mess with that guy and talk to him again, or should we just go get a drink? I kind of want a drink.
Yeah, let's go.
So you'll pass him in the hall. He'll not acknowledge your presence unless you say anything to him.
As I'm passing, I do like a double, triple take. And then I'm like, Edward T. McGraw.
He whips his head around so fast, just like, "What? I see I got fans."
Gosh. I can't believe I'm meeting you in person.
It's like,
She's just gonna gush as if she's like the biggest fangirl ever and just like play it up.
And he's just like posturing and looking off in the distance and, adjusting his hat and, just making sure that, you can see like the rhinestones catch the light just right. He's like, "All right.
Yeah,
All right, I got some important business to take care of. Maybe
of course.
Maybe I'll see you some other time."
Yes, you have a wonderful day, sir.
And that's when you hear Munchione yelling down the hall, "Edward, get your ass in here now."
Yeah, he's in a bad mood. We gave him some bad news, sorry. Good luck. And her whole demeanor just changes.
And that's when Edward looks down at Cookie and goes, "Cookie, it ain't looking too good for his partner. Let's get on down this long trail." And they disappear into Munchione's office. So.
Sorry, I had to fuck with him.
Yeah, he has no recollection of who you are.
Yeah, I figured he wouldn't. I figured it was an even bet that he wouldn't remember who I was, and I could totally screw with him that way. That was funny. So about that drink, I have a few gold with your name on it. So let's get ourselves a drink.
All right.
So
let's get white girl wasted.
Yeah.
So you, I believe you guys said that you got a basic map.
Yeah. That sounds right.
You had gotten a basic map of Platinum. So the map of Platinum, it has important landmarks, of course, but it also tells you like a list of the best eateries and bars. Everything is nice and numbered, so you just look at the legend and look at the number on the map, and you see a couple of places. And to tell you, how expensive they are, they have a little coin system that goes up to five.
Okay, yeah.
That goes up to 5 coins, telling you how expensive things are. And platinum,
Yeah.
nothing is below 4 coins.
Oh, nice. You know, I have a feeling we're a little outside of our budget here. I wonder how
Yeah.
far it is to get outside this district.
Once you descend from this tower and get ready to leave, there is someone who is standing outside who works, with the teleportation tower and the system and all that. He can, give you general information about the towns and the districts and whatnot.
Okay.
Even though Platinum is a large city, it's called a district because all of Terralina is Terralina.
Yeah. So we're in the governor's manor.
You're not in the governor's manor. You're actually
we're in the
as I pointed out before, you were here.
spire and the Sentinel.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Sort of equidistant to all the exits. I guess she'd ask the attendant about the various points, the various gates and what's right outside those gates.
So
Where's a good dive bar?
he tells you that. So if you're asking about like a dive bar, what hits his ears is you're looking for something cheap. But it seems weird to him because you had just come from teleporting into Terralina, and usually people
Right.
with money do that. So
Right.
he's a little taken back by that, but he'll tell you that he says that there's multiple ways of travel. You can always get a cart. They have a magical means of transporting from one place to the next, but he says it does take a bit of coin.
How much coin?
He purses his lips. He's a little reluctant to say. He's like, a cart might be best for you. It'll cut down your travel time. It might be more in your price range.
Are you looking down on me?
He's completely assuming this because in his mind, I'm just gonna put it out there, in his mind, he's looking at you like, oh, another group of people who spent their last pennies on tickets and can't afford to, stay here.
Right.
I guess
Well,
we
he's
have to
not entirely wrong.
But he'll talk, if you want more information, he'll talk more about how Terralina is structured. And he says that you might have seen from the observation point at the teleportation hub that there are walls surrounding each of these districts, each a city in its own right. There's platinum, there's diamond, and there's emerald. Each one a precious environment all its own. Here in platinum, this is a land of scholars and textiles. We have the best clothing, the most skilled weavers, and the most knowledgeable of all people reside here. And then we have Diamond. Diamond is a bit different. They seem to focus more on other crafts, such as woodworking and things of that nature. But then Emerald. Emerald is It's mainly run by dwarves. Nothing wrong with that. No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that they tend to prefer their own kind live there. Not that you can't visit or stay. It's just, as they say, those that don't have dust in their blood might not like Emerald. Lots of stonework, lots of gemstone cutting. A lot of the mine owners reside there, and because of all the stonemasonry that takes place, Emerald is very dusty. So if you're not akin to such an environment, you might not want to stay there for prolonged periods of time. It's not good for the lungs. And he'll go on to say that there are other places in between the districts that are unfavorable, but if it's the best you can do, there's things to be found there. The sheriffs, the guards, they tend to leave it be. It's rather lawless. And unless you have any direct questions, that's the general information he gives.
You never told us about a cart and how much it would cost.
Oh,
You
that.
said we should get a cart.
Hmm. On your map, there should.
Sorry if it sounded like. Sorry if it sounded like I was being short. That was Zaida being short.
Yeah.
Dumb.
He says, "Oh, yes, the card. Um, do you have a map?"
I do.
I'm sure on there somewhere there's a. You hand him the map, and he looks at it, and you can tell he's judging because it's one of the cheap maps. He goes,
My gold ain't cheap.
he goes, okay. So that's the bestiary? No. Here. There are 4 stables that are staples of the Platinum District. You might want this one. And he points to one that is near the markets. It's like, there's a respectable, albeit on the low end, rental place there. They'll transport you to in between the cities if you like. And they're the only one that is willing to go through the gray area, as they call it. It'll shorten your time, but they don't ensure your safety. Whatever those ruffians do to you on the way through, they are not held liable for. And he's talking mad shit about the people that live in the slums, but you, being a mercenary, you've been around, like, truly villainous people at times.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that it's just, some high society person looking down on, the less fortunate.
Yeah.
But he'll hand you back the map.
All right. So in order to get a drink, we need a cart and a horse to take us to our drinks. Let's go rent a taxi, I guess.
Platinum, as you can tell, is the most expensive area to be in. Second would be Diamond, and third would be Emerald. Although he has discouraged you from going to Emerald, it by no means stops you from going. Emerald,
Right.
yeah, Emerald is the more affordable of the 3 districts, and
Right.
as I said before, the slums, like the whole gray area, is not on the maps at all.
Not even on the map.
No.
Yeah.
So there's no distinguishing buildings other than the ones that are just outside of, the districts.
Let's take the
So
car.
we go to the stables.
But before I continue with this, where exactly were you planning on going? Because that'll dictate how much time it takes for you to get there.
Yeah.
Were you staying in Platinum, or
Well,
were you going
first,
to try and move around to somewhere else?
probably not stay in Platinum. It's too expensive and highfalutin for us. Zaida is fine with just slumming it in the slums. She figures that's where her kind of people are anyway, but she also realizes that Celeste probably isn't used to that kind of environment, so she was gonna suggest going to the Diamond District.
Okay, let's go.
And Broxim is just kind of along for the ride. He's like, well, I kind of wanted to check out Scholar's Dwell, but
Well,
you know
I
what?
have an idea.
He says, you know what? What? All right. You go ahead. I'll check out some of the scholarly stuff, and we'll meet up later.
Okay. Have fun. How the hell are we gonna find each other in this
It,
massive city?
it's at that point you
You
hear a familiar voice. Yes, all these ex machinas. It says, I'll go with him.
Oh,
Zexus.
hey, Zexus.
Yes, Zexus has been standing in your midst for a little bit. He says, I've finished up my business. Can I get a perception check from both of you? Oh.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. Okay, so while I'm at it, let me roll for Broxim. If I can remember where everything is. Perception, there we go. Nice. So, Broxim goes, dude, you got blood on your gloves. He goes, and Zexus looks at his hand and goes, oh. And he just kind of wipes it on his clothing. He's like, sorry. I don't tend to get messy.
That's not creepy at all.
Shall we go? He says to Broxim. He's like, I'll keep you out of trouble.
About to be murdered.
Broxim starts writing in his book.
But how will we meet up afterwards? Because I don't have any way to send a message to tell you where we are.
Zexus says,
Maybe just
places like this have
Platinum
many
Point.
eyes. I can find you.
That's not creepy. Okay, sure. Okay, we're gonna go find a cheap bar, I guess.
Once you get to the stables,
Mm-hmm.
the cart rental place,
Mm-hmm.
they tell you that they start naming prices and conditions, like where they will go, where they won't go, insurance policies, whether or not you want a driver, and things like that. Like if you're renting the cart and horse and driving yourself, it's of course more expensive, and you have to buy insurance for that. But if you're just being transported from one place to the next, then it's significantly lower. So
How much, like, what, how much gold are we talking?
first, they need to know your destination.
Okay, should we go all the way to the Emerald District, or should we just go to the edge of the district and just hit the slums right outside the gate? Or all the way to the Diamond District? Should we go all the way? How much and how long to get us to the Diamond District, for example?
Well, they say that there's two routes. If you go the route that circumvents the slums, then it'll take a bit longer, but you don't have to buy an insurance policy. And the insurance policy is to ensure the driver's safety and the loss of property when passing through the slums if you take the shorter route. And the difference between that is about 5 gold.
And time? How much time difference?
So since you're taking a cart, it'll probably take you, if you're trying to go around, then 6 hours to try and bypass the slums. If you're just trying to go from that location to the edge of the Diamond District, then it'll cut your time down to about 2 hours. So you're saving 4 hours, but you'll have to spend 15 gold in total to pass through the slums.
Okay, how much just to get us to the slums? How much to get out of this fancy ass platinum district so that we can just be among the real people?
He says, normally I'd say 10 gold, but I'm willing to settle for 8 just to take you to the edge of the town. Are you going through the
Celeste,
western? Are you going through the western gate, or do you want to go through Shard Shallow? Shard Shallow is closer. I could probably knock off another gold, but
well, I
that'll
want to
put.
have enough gold to actually drink once I get there and, get a bed and figure out what the hell I'm going to do with this place. But what do you think, Celeste? Do you want to spend the gold and the time to actually get all the way to the Diamond District, or
Well, even if we stopped in the slums, we don't have much for them to rob from us, right? So
exactly? And I have a feeling the slums are just like where normal people live.
yeah,
I mean, look
and
at this
they
place.
it's like slums because they're not poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People around here are really stuck up.
So you're going to stop at the edge of Platinum and travel through the slums.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
were you going to go through Western Gate or through Shard Shallow?
Let's do the Western Gate since it's closer to the Scholar's Way. So we won't be as far apart from Broxim.
Okay. So that little collection of buildings at Western Gate are uh, the outliers for Platinum. They're still considered a part of Platinum,
Mm,
but they're on the opposite end of the wall. Everything beyond that
mm,
is referred to as the gray area or the slums. Western Gate
mhm,
is where the sheriff of Platinum is stationed, and there's usually a
mhm.
battalion of guards that inhabit that area. But they don't go beyond Western Gate. As to why, that's something you'd have to find out from the locals.
Once we get to Western Gate, Zeta's going to approach one of those guards and ask where they drink.
Once you get to Western Gate, we'll fast track this. Once you get to Western Gate, the first guard you ask, you see him in this particular guard is in full plate armor, and he
Mm-hmm.
has a little not pendant, not a brooch. He has an insignia
Mm-hmm.
on his armor that you can tell just by looking at it is pure platinum.
Oh,
It's not. It's
so they're not.
you can tell
Mm,
that this guy might be one of the upper management guards. He's like one of the upper level guards because
yeah.
he's decked out in full plate armor. He has a little platinum insignia showing his rank. And when you approach him, he's, of course, looking you up and down, trying to get a, feel for, what your intent might be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still speak to him, or do you look for another guard?
Look for another guard. I'm sure I can find somebody else who's not as uppity.
Well, you see, a number of, just not as decked out in armor guards. They're wearing their, some of them are in chainmail. It's still nice chainmail. It's still nice, armor. They have a reputation to keep. But, they're wearing pretty much a tunic over their
Mm-hmm.
armor that has, the proper insignias for the Platinum District. And, just stating that they are part of the Platinum Town Guard. And the group that you approach, there's three of them, and they're all standing around. What you think from a distance is a woman dressed in white garb, and she's posted up against a wall. She's sitting in a chair, leaning back against a wall, legs crossed. She's wearing a hat.
Okay.
It's a bit down, so you think she might be napping. And there's just these guards standing around her. But they're more plainly dressed than the heavily armored one.
So I approach and ask where they go to get a drink.
They'll kind of look at you. They'll look at the woman lying there in the chair, and one of them will kind of signal to you to like move over a little bit, like so that they're not in earshot. And they're like, "Uh, you're looking to get a good drink."
Yep.
Well, around the slums, there's a lot of places that it's basically swill. But there's one place that gets really good booze. The problem is, they only open at night. A lot of us, as soon as our shift is over, since we're day shifters, we get a chance to go. It's a nice, it's a nice little dance club. It's wild.
Sounds like my kind of place.
I'm down. Oh, yeah.
You sure you
Now,
can
where
handle
would I
it?
find it?
Oh,
I can handle it.
it's called the Roost. All right. So if you go down here from the western gate a bit, and if you go to your right, you'll see this place that looks like a shack. Well, I say a shack, but it looks more like a chicken coop. I know, crazy, right? But as soon as the sun starts going down, it lights up. In fact, I could meet you there later.
Oh
And you,
yeah. I'm not that kind of gal. Sorry. I'll buy you a drink if I see you there. But thanks for the tip.
with that information, he says pretty much everything else is swill, but you can still find a couple of locations that are open and see for yourself. And sunset,
So the roost isn't open yet.
no,
I guess these folks don't do much day drinking.
it's another 3 hours till sunset.
What do you say? Do you want to get some swill or do you want to wander around until nightfall?
Huh. I guess we can wait. I kind of want to go to that party.
Yeah, me too.
Game,
Yeah.
I guess.
If you want, we can, fast travel the, gloss over the 3 hours until it's open.
Yeah.
We have to find housing anyway, so maybe we should like try and find the place. so we can
Yeah.
put our sleep, when we get back.
Yeah, smart.
But I do want a perception check from the two of you.
Okay.
Because we know how great I am at food.
-1.
I got a
Oh my
1 this
God.
time, which is better than a 0.
It's better than last time.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Nice. So, Celeste, with a
Yeah.
21, you notice that the woman that was reclining and relaxing in the chair, possibly taking a nap, you see she has one hand up and a finger is lifting her hat and she's looking in your direction. But when your eyes meet, she just tilts the hat back down and crosses her arms again.
Why is she pointing at me? I'll go talk to her.
She wasn't pointing you, she was pointing at you. She was just lifting her hat and then she puts it back down.
I want to go talk to her, so I'll walk over to her and I'll say, "Hello, ma'am. How are you doing?"
When you start to get close to her, the two guards that weren't talking to you kind of move in to block you a little bit. It's like, we can't let you any further. And that's when you hear her say, "Step aside. There ain't gonna be no trouble." Now that you get a good look at her, she has light brown skin, like a pale brown. She has stark white hair, not unlike yours, Celeste, but you can tell that there's a bit of difference between you two. She has her fingernails painted black and filed to points. Well, her fingernails on her right hand. Without really looking too hard, you can tell that her left hand is a prosthetic. And like I said, she's wearing white clothing, kind of a trench coat, not really like a duster. You know what a duster jacket looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's wearing that, and she's wearing like kind of a cowboy hat. But imagine a fusion between a witch's hat and a 10-gallon hat. So it kind of has the 10-gallon hat brim, but it has a floppy point to it that's kind of laid to the side. You feel me? I think.
The fedora hat, like top hat.
Like
the brim is like a cowboy hat, but the
top,
body of the hat is
it's kind of like
okay.
Ooh, I think the best reference I can make is imagine like the sorting hat from Harry Potter. You know how that kind of looks, but more like cowboyish. With the brim. Yes.
Okay, I got it.
So she says to you, "What brings you over here to bother my nap?"
I'm sorry to bother you. I just saw that you were looking away, and I wanted to ask if you know me.
I know a lot of things. I know a lot of people. I see a lot of things. I take interest in a lot of things. You took one of my guards and started chatting them up. I'm just trying to see what's up.
Oh, well, we were just asking them about, like, what bars are good, and we're trying to find some lodging and trying to get a drink, all of that.
So you're a tourist.
It's
like immigrant.
Yeah, more like an immigrant. A tourist is someone who
So
stays
when
for
you
a short time and leaves.
So when you say that, she'll lift her hat off her face and put it on her head proper. And it's at this point that you can see that she has these pale hazel eyes, and she's wearing this really dark red lipstick. And she says, "You plan on staying here for the long haul?"
Yeah, for at least for a bit.
Shoot, I don't hear too many people say that anymore. Well, welcome to Terralina. I'm Caraway May Darkmoon, sheriff around these
Sorry,
parts.
what's the first name?
Caraway. So the way that is spelled is K-R-A. It's like but she pronounces it Kara, not Kara. Way May. It's one of those like 2 to 3 part names. So her full first name is Caraway May.
Okay.
So Karaway, and then May. And even though it's her full first name, Caraway is separated from May.
Okay. It's a double name.
Yes.
I live in the South. I know what a double name is.
So she's Caraway May, and her last name, her surname, she gives is Darkmoon.
Okay, Caraway May Darkmoon. I am Celeste. I keep forgetting my last name.
You named yourself Lunafire.
Yes, I am Celeste Lunafire. Nice to meet you.
She says, "Likewise," and puts her hand out to shake yours.
All right, I'll go ahead and reach my hand now and give it a stern.
And she says, "Good grip for soft hands."
Why, thank you. I use a lot of lotion.
Would you give me a history check? See if
Both of us?
Sure, but like Celeste, you I do even have to say with advantage because you know the name Darkmoon.
It does sound familiar.
You know that Darkmoon is a drow family that is not part of the Loth Loyal. And looking at her, you think that she might be a half drow if she is presenting herself with the name Darkmoon.
Can I ask her?
You can ask away.
Okay. So, Miss Caraway May, right?
Yes.
That name you have sounds very familiar. I was wondering if perhaps you're part of the family of Darkmoon? Sorry, I'm really bad with names. Sorry.
Well, I presented myself as Darkmoon, and I'm pretty sure I wasn't fibbing about it.
Oh wow, that's really interesting because I don't know why it's interesting. That's just interesting. Thanks.
She says, "I know about you Lunafires too.
Really? What do you know?
I know plenty. And I know that it's quite the rare sight for you to be out here."
Yeah, I'm just exploring.
I'm surprised they let you go.
Frankly, I am too.
I hear they're quite protective of their own.
Yeah, but I wanted to get out on my own and see what's out here.
Just don't get into any trouble.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, before y'all get out of here, question, where you headed?
Well, we were about to get on a cart to go to the slums and then walk halfway maybe to get where we're going. Diamond? We're trying to go to Diamond and find some lodging and a drink.
Well, you took the cart to the edge of Platinum, to the western gate.
Okay,
so now you're.
So we're just trying to get a little further. Yeah, we're trying to get a little further in there.
She says,
"I'm gonna go to the Roost."
The Roost.
That's the bar.
She says, "Just be careful now. My jurisdiction doesn't extend past the western gate. She says if things go awry, I can't rightly protect you. Officially, that is.
Well, I hear a lot of guards go to the roost on their off hours, so I figure it can't be too terribly dangerous.
Well, the roost is one of the good ones. There's a lot of things going on around here. I just hope y'all aren't getting mixed up in it.
No, we're, hand in hand with the law. We travel with the law for sure. And she's thinking about the governor right now and how they're already in deep trouble.
She just kind of looks you both over again and is like, all right, maybe we'll meet again. You never know.
Yes.
I might have some work for you.
If that's the case, is there a way to contact you?
I'll be here most days when I'm not on patrol. Platinum's my town.
We got it.
But there is something I do have to say. If you do plan on going to Diamond, just please stay away from that Edward.
You wouldn't mean Edward T. McGraw, would you?
The sheriff of Diamond? Yeah. If he ain't
He's Sheriff
trying to sing to you, he's talking your ear off. I swear it's harder to get out of a conversation with him than it is to dodge a flail snail.
You are not wrong, ma'am.
But that big lizard just soaks up attention. And if you give it to him, he's just gonna keep taking it.
You are not wrong.
But, since you don't plan on causing trouble, would you at least look out for it for me? Be my eyes.
I would be happy to.
Much obliged.
Much obliged.
She'll tip her hat to you and bring it back down over her face. She's like, now get on now. Let me get back to my nap. So yeah. So we can skip the 3 hours and y'all can that's my southern accent coming in. Y'all can so y'all can get to the roost. Is there anything else you want to do before getting there? I should say, like, were you? I know Celeste was saying she wanted to look around for lodging and things like that.
Well, yeah, let's.
Lodging.
You find a couple of places that are no better than a hole in the wall, but you do find one that's fairly decent, and they're not charging a lot for your daily stay. So I will say this is within the modest range. So it's only about 3 silver pieces a day. Other places were charging copper pieces, but they look like they were worth copper pieces to stay.
Well, let's see. At that rate, and I can afford.
Is 13 coin really all we have?
That's all I have personally. I don't know how much you have.
Collectively, you guys still have you spent 100 gold on the sword. You spent 20 gold from the 800 that Sexus gave you. You spent 100 on the sword. You spent 20 on a map. You just spent, what was it? 8 gold to travel to the western gate through Platinum. So
we also bought 3 potions for 150 total.
Right. So just deduct all of that, and that's how much you collectively have as a group. So you guys do have a decent amount of money, but staying in Platinum or anything like that, it's gonna run you dry.
Yeah.
Maybe we should.
I think we've got like.
Wait, how much we have? You saying? Sorry, interrupt.
Yeah, I think 522 is where we are.
Gold coins.
Yeah.
Well, okay, how many silver coins make a gold coin?
10.
Oh man. And how much is the silver coins a night?
3.
3? Okay, hold on. So 522. Time for budgeting to come out.
2 plus 2 is 4 minus 1. That's 3 quick maths.
That's a
We can afford this for a while,
yeah,
but it's rather expensive.
we just it's the other expenses to worry about, I guess. Is what I'm thinking.
Someone's got some back going on.
But y'all can designate like one person in the party to hold on to the gold, just for tallying purposes. But you can collectively make decisions on how to spend it.
What about Zaida? Seems like the most well.
I take good notes. I do take good notes usually, so.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just not a note person, so.
That's fine.
There's no need to apologize.
Zaida is the best for that, and we can try out this, and then we can also maybe the next time we try out if we feel our funds are going low, we can switch to a copper place.
Yeah. So remind me how much the cart cost. Was it 8 gold or am I?
It was 8 gold.
Misremembering.
No, it was 8 gold, just to travel to the Western Gate.
And now we're doing 3 silver a night.
Yes. So you can come back and check in at any point. I don't think anyone's really carrying, like suitcases or bags beyond like. Actually, do you guys have any like equipment beyond that? Like, are you carrying, bags or knapsacks or anything like that, or is it just what you're wearing?
Yeah. I've got a backpack with a bedroll and.
Oh, right, the starter
kit,
stuff.
rations. Yeah, that whole kit.
So, do you choose to leave it at your lodgings, or are you carting all of that around with you?
Zaida carts it around with her. Well, yeah, she carts it around with her.
Your lodgings will offer for an increased fee of 1 gold. They will lock your stuff away, and their claim to fame is they're the only lodging with a vault.
Right, fine. 1 gold, and she'll take it out of her own personal amount, and won't have to carry your backpack.
All right. The proprietor will tell you that it's for everyone who will be staying in the room. So if anyone else has anything to add, they are free to do that.
Put 500 of our gold into the. No, she'll carry the gold with her, and just hope she doesn't get robbed.
And also I've been thinking about it, to reduce like just how much physical coins you guys carry. There is like a magical credit card system in this world. You guys don't have access to that. So when you approach the roost, you're following the directions. If you ever get a bit sidetracked, you can ask someone, and they kind of point you in the right direction. But when you approach the roost, you can see the lights are on. You can hear the music out in the street, and you hear horns playing, you hear strings going. It's like a jazz club. This place is jumping. In fact, you think the building is shaking. And it does look like a chicken coop. It really looks like a place to roost.
So Zaida's hoping that there's some gambling going on so she can maybe make some money, but she mostly wants a drink first.
So when you enter this place, you see it's crowded, it's packed. Like there's people on what you could assume is the dance floor, and they're all dancing weird. They're like throwing arms around. Some people are flipping. It's like this is dancing like you've never seen.
Yo, they honest.
It's like these people are like clapping and stomping and having a good time. Dresses are flaring up and swaying side to side. And
oh my gosh!
Essentially, the music that plays here is, like old ragtag, old Southern, jazz and, that type of music. So the people that aren't on the dance floor, you see them, happily, clapping along at their tables and, having a good time drinking and hanging on one another. And all of that in itself is a grand spectacle. But what's really, show stopping is you see a guy on stage and he has this black and green feathered boa around his neck. He has his hair in this uh, swirling pompadour that's tinged in red, and it's black and it goes into a red where the swirls start. He's wearing this. The best way to describe it is a zoot suit, and you see him strutting around the stage with his arms to his side like a chicken.
Oh boy.
And he is prancing around, and his style of dancing is very chicken like. So, he's flapping his arms, he's scratching at the ground. You see him move and wiggle and having a great time. So little James Brown, little Michael Jackson, Sam Cooke, all that, he's just going. He's getting it. He's on stage. And he has two girls singing back up who are also in feathered garb. And they're back singing back up and they're dancing a bit with him. So there's a live band playing and this place is just jumping. So Zaida. So Zaida, you said you're making your way to the bar.
Yes.
So you're really gonna have to yell to get your drink order in.
Zaida has no trouble being loud.
So there's a bartender. He's a human male, a little heavy set, and he's bald with a bowler hat sitting on the back of his head. Like not on top of his head, like just sitting on the back like almost like a yarmulke. But it's a full bowler hat sitting on the back of his noggin, and you see him cleaning a glass.
I'll have an ale, and I believe the lady drinks wine. Maybe a white wine. Celeste?
Give me a vodka tonic.
Atta girl.
Well, they have an equivalent of vodka. They just call it potato wine. So you can have that. And he looks at you and says, just an ale? He says,
well,
here our specialty is gin. We got plenty of it.
You said my favorite word. You said my favorite word. I'll have a gin and tonic. Please and thank you.
He starts pouring the drinks for you too. He's like, potato wine for you, gin for you. And he says, that gin hits a little hard though. Hope you can handle it.
Zaida grins and knocks it back like it's a shot.
And he is impressed. He's like, whoa, ho, ho, hey. And he's just like smiling and, cleaning his glass. He's like, might want to wait a minute for another one. Because he's really like, I don't want to have to, push you out the door.
No, that won't happen. I can handle it. Did Zaida give the...
Before that, can I get a constitution check from you?
Okay.
Or...
Con save or check?
No, not save, because I'm not going to make it so that, this gin has a DC of this, and you got to save against it. Nah, I just want to see where you roll. Yeah, that's fine. You handle it like a champ.
Zaida knows when the important rolls are running around. It's like perception checks, but constitution checks to knock back some liquor. Yeah, that'll roll the 19 for.
So, besides the smell of alcohol, you smell food. Just lots of good food, lots of good smells in the air, and people having a good time.
Zaida's gonna follow her nose to some food because it's probably been since breakfast since they ate.
So while you're sniffing around, You're looking at what some of the people are eating at the tables, and there's a surprising lack of meat.
Hmm.
You see vegetable stews. You see, what's essentially corn chowder. You see something that looks like grits with various vegetables mixed into it. You see all types of, roasted vegetable meals, potatoes, things like that. But
Me hungry.
you're not seeing any meat. So
Maybe they don't get meat around here.
if you want to get a menu, you're, you know, perfectly fine to ask the bartender for, a menu and try and find an empty table.
Yeah, do that. Maybe not an empty table. Maybe somebody who looks lonely.
Wants to flirt with more girls.
Actually, she was thinking about finding somebody to gamble with.
Can I get a perception check from you?
Oh, really?
Because you want to actively look around for.
I know. I
chances.
just suck it so bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's like you can clearly see that there's little groups of people kind of standing in circles, and that's the classic sign of some type of dice game may be going on.
All right. She's gonna get in there and make a few legit rounds and then see how her luck is going.
I am going to.
2. That's pretty good.
I did that so that it would show up for you guys.
Pretty good.
So roll a d100 for me.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that's not so good.
So the way that I'm going to call this is that you walked away with 22 silver pieces.
Right. So she does all right for herself. Okay. After that, well, first see how Celeste is doing and join her.
So what are you doing during this time, Celeste?
Chilling. I'm probably gonna order some food too, and just sit here alone. I can't be bothered socializing.
The only tables that are relatively unoccupied, there's a few tall tables with tall chairs. So like pretty much sitting up high, like at really tall tables. And for someone who is of average height, it's a bit of a step up, to get in that chair. But you can manage it. You think that some of this furniture wasn't exactly meant for humans, and a lot of it's just like scavenged goods. So it's like the decor, like all of it isn't exactly matching. It's like they needed extra tables, they needed extra chairs, and just kind of crammed some more in there from wherever they could get them.
It's a dive bar.
Yeah.
And on the menu, you notice that it is all vegetables. The only semblance of meat is fish. There's
Why
like
is it?
there's like a little bit of fish here and there, but it's not at the front of the menu. It's something like towards the tail end of the menu.
Can I ask the bartender why there's no meat items?
When you ask the bartender, he stops cleaning his glass and says, "Boss man, he doesn't like anybody eating animals in here, with good reason."
Okay, then it's fine with me. You guys have any fried, like maybe just French fries?
Yeah.
He's like, "French fries?"
Fried potatoes?
He's like, "Oh yeah. We got potatoes all kinds of ways."
Okay, can you cut them in wedges, fry them up, and put some cheese on them?
Sure.
Yes.
He's like,
Sound.
he's like, "Oh, okay. Not a lot of people ask for dairy, but we got it. We got it for those that do." And you see there's a little reluctance, but he's like, we got it. You're a customer. You're paying. I'll get it. So he makes you your meal. So a few minutes will go by, and before you actually get your food, the music stops, with just a blaring, of the horns and the tapping of cymbals and, it's big finale, jazz hands. And the man that's been dancing across the stage for the better half of, 20 minutes now approaches the front of the stage. And like you saw with Edward, a strange stand-like contraption with a wand attached that he uses to project his voice. And he says, greetings and salutations. Thank you everyone for coming out here tonight to the Roost. I'm your host, Rooster. Of course, you all know that. I'm the reason you come here. And, he's just addressing the crowd. And everyone's like, yeah, Rooster! And, they're like clapping and you're cheering. You hear a few whistles. It's like, woo! It's like, all right, settle down now. Everybody having a good time? And you just hear the crowd like roar again. It's like, yeah! Woo! It's like, thank you. So, I'm gonna retire for a little bit. Need the rest. The band's gonna play you a little smoother music. And, one of my associates will come out and lay down some lines for you. He's been working on a new song, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it. Something real smooth. Again, me and the ladies, we need to take a break. And he's like, come on, ladies, come on. And you'll see him throw his hands around them, his arms around them. And they're just clinging to him and giggling as he walks off stage. And most of the patrons
That's
here...
Rooster.
Yes, that's Rooster. And most of the patrons here are of a darker complexion. Because this really is based on, like one of the old jazz clubs.
Yeah, I've never been to one.
So it's like one of these. So yeah, it's like a old Southern Black Church revival up in there. People hooping and hollering.
It's great.
Yes. So the next guy that comes up on stage, he has his hair, it's slicked back, and he starts. Essentially, he's a crooner. He's like singing real slow. Really melodic. Gives you the feel of doo-wop. A lot of Bing Crosby style. Boom, 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 boom. Just really.
Yeah.
Like soothing the crowd. You see the energy. It's still there, but it's a little more toned down. You get the occasional, woman wooing and, like yelling to the stage. So you see a couple of garments maybe thrown up onto the stage.
Oh boy.
So yeah.
Yeah, let me ask this bartender. What is this Rooster guy about? What? Like, does he have an underground business? Is he a drug dealer too?
The bartender. Wait, you really say all that?
No.
No. I really want to know because that is funny.
Take out the part. Wait. Take out the part about drug dealing.
So you're just asking like, what's he all about, and
yeah, why is he so popular?
It's like, don't you know? Rooster's king around here, king of the slums.
Slums?
He's king of the slums.
Oh no, is he a landlord? I'm actually saying that.
It's like, no, nothing like that. If you ask him, he's king around here. You ask anybody else, he's just a jiving fool.
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
But the bartender before you go away, the bartender goes, but hey, nobody has a good heart like Rooster.
Okay.
He's taken in a lot of broken people and fixed them up right. And when he says that, he just has this look in his eye that you think that he might have a personal connection with Rooster. So, Zaida, You were gonna say
Yeah.
something, yeah.
When Rooster went off stage, is he still in this room or did he go? Is there like a backstage that we can't see?
When he leaves the stage, although he he steps off to the side of the stage, but there's a door that leads to the back, to like a back room, and that's the route that he took.
Zaida would sort of subtly head in that direction. She really wants to talk to this guy because she remembers what Violet wrote in her note.
Yeah. There's no bouncer, but you still might want to be cautious. You don't want someone going like, "Hey, you don't want to be here." So give. Do I really want to say it's stealth? Because I'm like, is it
My
stealth?
perception.
It could be stealth. It could be deception if you just kind of like whistling
Make it
like.
deception.
Yes, yes, yes. I'll make it deception because you're just trying to act casual.
There we go. That's a roll.
All right. You make your way into like through this door, and there's a bit of a hallway. There's a couple of more doors back here, and there's one that's closed, but you can hear Rooster talking. You can't quite make out what he's saying, but you know that he's most likely behind that door.
Gonna knock on the door. I'm polite.
So you knock at the door, and it just goes quiet. And then you hear, "Who's there?"
My name's Zaida. A friend sent me.
And who's this friend?
Violet. Violet.
You hear, you hear just footsteps like straight to the door, and he pulls open the door, and in his hand is a dagger, and he goes,
Oh boy.
and he goes, "Violet, what Violet?"
Zaida will describe her physically. I don't have that in my notes.
So it's fine. You describe her, long black hair, fairly attractive, carries a long sword, things like that. Just general descriptions. And of course, you describe the really bad scar that she has. So he's like, shit, you should have said that. Should have led with that. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
And when he puts
next time, I'll say "lady with the scar" instead of saying her name.
When he puts his dagger away, you see him flip it in his hand, and it somehow collapses and closes into just a handle, which he tucks away into his shirt. He pretty much had a butterfly knife, a little switchblade. So he tucks that away and says, "Come on in." So what did Violet say? But before you answer, when you look around the room, you see two hens sitting on a couch in the room.
Zaida looks at the hens, looks at him, looks at the hens again, and says, "Hello, ladies."
And he gives this really big grin, and you see a single gold tooth, and he says, "You're quite perceptive."
Every now and then. Every now and then. It's rare, but every now and then I figure something out.
So, you know your way with magic?
Oh, a bit.
Maybe you can help me out.
I was sort of hoping you could help me out, but I'd be happy to do you a favor.
He says, maybe we can help each other. Come on. You here alone?
No, my friend Celeste is outside. I should have brought her with me, but I was trying to be sneaky.
He says, "Oh, no need for that. Go get her. I'll be right here."
Yeah, I go grab Celeste and bring her back.
Oh, well.
So, Rooster will sit on the couch in his dressing room. He has there's a chicken on either side of him. There's a hen on either side of him. He kicks his legs up onto a coffee table in front of him, And he puts his arms up on the couch and reclines a bit. He says, "So, how much did Violet tell you?"
Well, she told me about her troubles in Terralina a little bit. I saw the scar, but she didn't tell me too much about you, just that you might be able to help me if I were in trouble.
So, are you in trouble?
Yeah, we're already deep in debt and over our heads. It's
Oh, I don't go
not an
giving
ideal.
handouts.
No, I wouldn't ask. If you have a job, that's one thing, but
I'd really appreciate it if you could do something for me.
all right. Shoot.
But first, tell me more about the trouble you're in.
Oh boy.
Is it just financial? Or is it something I can actually solve?
I don't know. This is Zaida sort of hesitates a while, not sure if she wants to tell him just how deep of doo-doo they're in. I just want to know if I can do an insight check to see if he's one to go up against the governor.
Yeah, I was wondering if I could like add on mine or something too, because I know Zeta's usually doesn't go well.
Well, are you trying to assess
Okay.
if he's good enough, if he's powerful enough or something like that to oppose the governor, or is he willing to?
Well, more like if he has the balls.
That's something more like you would have to name drop him or bring something up to
Yeah, I'm
gauge a
trying to decide if
reaction.
I should or not.
Yeah, it's more like
Yeah, that's
mentioning.
fair.
It's like, yeah, either you straight up say it or you mention or hint at something that suggested.
Okay, so Zeta sort of thinks for a second and says, let's just say the powers that be aren't too happy with us.
He goes, "Did you piss off one of the sheriffs?"
Little higher than that.
"One of the mayors?"
Keep going.
"Oh shit."
Yeah, and he's real pissed.
He is laughing his head off. "You going to cause trouble with the governor?" Yeah, you got yourself into some real shit right there.
You're not lying.
I've been trying to get him out of here for the longest. He sees the slums as the slums. I think it can be something more. And the only thing stopping that is him. Him and the whole Munchione clan. They move shit through here,
Well,
cause trouble, and then blame it on us. We just trying to live.
well, unfortunately, we can either pay him 20 grand or we have to start moving shit for him.
Wait. He wants you to start moving shit through my territory.
Probably. We haven't discussed specifics yet, but
I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Humans, they just keep doing stuff like this.
human?
Well, I wasn't always the man you see before you. I was once a rooster. And
Huh.
he puts his arms out and kind of jazz hands. It's like, ta-da!
That's never seen that before.
Should I have it as history or arcana to see if y'all might have ever heard of anything like this? Him claiming to be a chicken. Yeah, let's do arcana. Celeste, can I get a arcana check from you?
Yeah.
Nice. You've heard of weird cases of animals becoming humans through a spell called polymorph. But you've also heard of a true polymorph, where the spell becomes permanent. And with him claiming that he used to be a rooster, you're kind of inclined to believe him. It doesn't sound as crazy as it might seem to others. And if you pass that information on to Zaida, then she can probably put two and two together and infer that, a little more about the situation.
Okay, well, all right, yeah. So I was just like, go tell Zaida about all of this new information and ask her what she thinks.
Possible, unlikely, but possible. Do you mind if I ask who cast the spell?
He says, a cruel man who's long since been disposed of.
Hmm.
You see, I used to belong to a wizard. A cruel, cruel man. He wasn't satisfied with just raising his livestock for, food and things like that. He'd like to transform them so that they can see what becomes of them. Night after night, he'd sit me down, he'd change me, and he'd have me watch as he dined on my friends. One particular night, he got a little drunk, decided that he wanted to keep me around for much longer. He didn't want to keep casting the spell over and over again. And besides, he would have someone to do things for him, clean, help cook, help slaughter my own. But I had enough of it. I saved those that I could, even learned a little bit of magic myself. But all I can do is keep them transformed for a little bit at a time. I know there's a spell out there, somewhere, where they won't have to change back.
You want your ladies to be ladies the whole time, or what?
Not just them. All of them.
How many in your flock?
Well, not all of us are foul. We're all types. And in fact, I gotta relieve a couple of them of duty before the spells wear off.
Right. Of course. Wow. So that's high level magic,
And I don't have access to it.
Neither do I. I mean, I'd love to help, but I don't really know where to start.
I've been doing some information gathering, and one of my associates think they might be on something. There's a lost observatory.
Yes.
And if she can pinpoint the location, I believe what I'm looking for might be there, but I can't go myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly cut out for adventuring and all that.
Oh, you're a showbiz kind of guy. I can see that. That's fine. Well, we'll see what we can do.
If this goes well, I think we can change the things around here. The slums, this gray area that they keep talking about, I think it can become something more. The adamantine band that holds all of Terralina together.
Hell yeah. Let's drink to that.
Sure. He reaches into his shirt pocket, pulls out a flask. There's already glasses sitting on the coffee table, and he pours a few shots. He's like, let's drink up. A toast. And he raises his glass to, toast with you.
Toast to Terralina.
Sorry, what?
It's a toast to Terralina.
To vegetarianism.
To never seeing another one of my friends. I'm sorry. To a better life for all of us. And
Here.
with that, he'll drink. But on that note, the door opens and the bartender walks in. He's like, "Hey, boss, you got guests. I'm sorry, boss. I can't hold it." And then you see the bartender begin to change and morph into a pig.
The cute little pink pig.
No, he's actually a black and white pig.
Aww.
He's a black and white spotted pig. and now it's just incoherent grunts and snuffles.
Zaida says, I think I need another drink.
He's like, and I think
That was great, Joe.
He says, I think I need to get another bartender out there.
That was great, Joe.
Thank you.
Yes, good game. All right, good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night, Cammy.
But
night, Joe.
Good night. But before you go, Allison.
Oh, yeah.
Like this, I've been sitting on this thing for a while. This whole like, oh, everyone that works here is an animal thing. And it's like I've been wanting to talk about it. I was just like, no, save it. They're gonna like it. Just save it.
It was great. I really do like it. I had, when you said there was no meat on the menu, there was a little hint of something like, what if there's something going on with that? But it was still a surprise. But yeah, when you mentioned the two ladies and then the hen sitting on the couch, I was like, cool idea.